Diego Pavia and 5-0 Vanderbilt head to Bryant-Denny Stadium to face Ty Simpson, Kalen DeBoer, and the Alabama Crimson Tide, fresh off of snapping the Georgia Bulldogs' 33 straight home win streak. Now, this is a big rematch from last year, a revenge game, if you will, for Alabama, who got knocked off on the road at Vandy a season ago. That's the big narrative coming into this game, but we have to address that Vanderbilt is one darn good football team. Everything that we saw Diego Pavia do in that game, creating with his legs, being clutch on third down, his ability to use his arm outside of the pocket, on the run, everything that he's been unique with that led to that win a season ago, he has been even better this year. This offense is arguably the best offense that Vanderbilt has ever had, and they are coming into this game against Bama on the road with a ton of confidence. Now, people are going to talk about the Utah State squad scoring 35 points against them. They're forgetting a little bit that Bryson Barnes, their quarterback a couple of years ago, is the same guy that went on the road into the Coliseum and beat Caleb Williams and USC, who were coming off of Notre Dame. But I was at that game, and I watched Bryson Barnes. He's a talented quarterback, and Utah State came out very hot. Now, where I see Alabama with a huge advantage in this game is starting off hot. They came out right away, blasting through the gates, 14-0 on Georgia. Their fans are thinking, what the heck? We started slow against Tennessee, and now it's the same thing against the Tide? What is going on? So Vanderbilt, they did not start off well. They were down 14-7 before an onslaught found themselves up in that game, right? 21-14, 28-14, and then Utah State comes back before the half, and then Pavia is able to scramble for a big run to get them into field goal range and up by 10, and then they were pretty much in control the rest of the way. But this is a game where I'm giving that lean, where I think the Alabama Crimson Tide come out with Ty Simpson, slinging it, saying, we're going to take this game. It's in our building. We're not on the road. And coming out with our quarterback, who we believe is the best player on the football field. Ty Simpson was spectacular against Georgia. Everything went with third down. Alabama was incredible on third down. Ty Simpson was mobile. The pocket, when it was a little messy, he was able to extend plays, not just rolling out and evading it, being able to step up and deliver down the field. He managed the game. Didn't have the big turnover, which we have become so accustomed to in those Georgia matchups. I've got a lot of faith in Ty Simpson going up against that Vanderbilt secondary now that did struggle against Utah State and has not been completely unbeatable throughout this season. What more so has made Vanderbilt so dominant this season is the manner of which their offense has operated with such efficiency. This team is playing at an incredibly high level. They're running the football well. They've got who I think might be the best tight end in college football, Eli Stowers, Max Clare. It might be those two as your top two. The kid at Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq, maybe those are the top three tight ends in college football. An unbelievable group, but Stowers has to be a featured part of the game plan through Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia, this is that 15, 18 carry type game where he needs to go put them on his back. I'm coming out running the football with Pavia, letting him be the hero guy. Against South Carolina, Vanderbilt was in a tight game. They were trailing. They had to come up with making important plays with Pavia's legs to be able to extend it. His ability to create, which Alabama knows all too well from that game last year. It was a great sign from the Crimson Tide that Ryan Williams is back to healthy. Now, there was one particular play. Well, he did not deliver a big block coming over in motion where he was supposed to. But beside from that, he took a couple of shots and held on to the football. Clearly, he's got to catch that touchdown throw. Ball is right in his hands, tries to catch it kind of with his forearms and ends up dropping it. That's a play that he just cannot make. Still, the confidence levels in Ryan Williams can be a little bit higher. This is an opportunity against Vanderbilt to go show that he is the best wide receiver in the SEC, that he can go out there and dominate, because what Alabama did against Georgia was say, hey, It's not one guy. This is going to be a thing by committee. It's Horton. It's Jeremy Bernard. We're going to get the football to the backs, and we're going to seal this game at the end of it on that third down. Imagine if there's a world where the flat's not open and Ty Simpson rolling to his right has to duck that ball away, or he goes down and Georgia gets the football back. I guarantee you some Alabama fans are imagining that scenario, and we're not necessarily so confident that they would pick it up the way that the season has felt so far and the way Georgia just refuses and does not lose. It was incredible to see them pull off the win, slay the dragon, if you will, and get the win at Georgia. Such a tough environment from the get-go. Unbelievable that there was also Penn State, Oregon, double overtime happening in that one. But I've got the lean so far in this one. I liked the way that Alabama's defensive line held up in key moments. Now, did they give up over 200 yards rushing to Georgia? That does not bode very well. But where the key factor is, Gunnar Stockton did not kill them with his legs. And for this game, a little bit similar to the Florida State, Kami Castellanos, Diego Pavia, the way that they create with their legs, that is a massive concern for Alabama. But the way that they limited Gunnar Stockton, a dual threat quarterback, a guy that you have to know where he is at all times. It looked like Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson for the Tide did a tremendous job going sideline to sideline. These are terrific athletes, and I believe that they will get the job done. They're going to limit Diego Pavia. You can't completely limit him because he is incredibly dynamic, because there's only one player like this with that full ball rocket coming out of his hand delivery. He kind of reminds you of Brett Favre a little bit with the way you watch him and that he creates doing all of these things. But Alabama, from a roster standpoint, with their weapons that they possess, and Ty Simpson now with that win on the road, you would imagine their confidence is at a 2-year high under Kalen DeBoer, that they haven't had this type of confidence. You'd have to go back to that win against Georgia last year, but guess what happened the week after that? They got the #1 ranking, and they got beat by Vanderbilt. Immediately, the confidence goes down. Weren't very prepared for that game. They didn't know what type of dogfight that they were going to get into, so the Tide, they'll be ready for Vanderbilt, and this is going to be a pretty good football game. Now, I do think that Alabama will be able to handle them. This game being at home does help. An afternoon kickoff. I've got Alabama winning relatively handedly, 30-21. I have the final score. Ty Simpson's able to continue to solidify himself as one of the best young developing quarterbacks in college football. He's been within that offense, goes back to a couple years within the system, but he is now playing at high level with Ryan Grubb, continue to keep the pedal to the metal against Vanderbilt and move on with the season. Vanderbilt, there would be no shame there. I mean, they're going through a very tough patch of their schedule. I just want to see someone else be able to come up and make a play for them. And the way that Alabama's secondary looked with a ton of sticky coverage, they weren't getting a ton of pressure when they were just rushing 4. But the way that it's looked in Stowers, your tight end, being your lead guy, Trey Richardson's been good. Junior Sherrill, he had a very nice week last week. But these Bama secondary defenders are on another level from what you have seen so far on the season. So I've got Bama 30-21. Let me know down below in the comments whether you think I'm right, whether you believe I'll be wrong. Vandy pulls the upset, and they pull out this win. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more football videos in the future. I make NFL, college content every day. We're fired up for this matchup, rematch of last year, and let's get to it. Thank you so much for watching.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder. To the 40, 35, 30. Espinosa to the 20.